Hello, my name is Talethea, and I am hoping that you all will come along with me as I work and plan and research and execute my intent to go from working from home full time to living on board cruise ships while also working full time. So let's do it. I am going to live and work full time on board cruise ships. I currently work from home full time remotely, and I'm going to transition my entire lifestyle to be from one where I work at home full time to where I live on board and work full time from cruise ships. And I want y'all to come along with me. I have started this whole jam so y'all can watch the transition. I want y'all to be there from when I start thinking about it and start planning and start executing, start getting more information and sharing it with y'all. I want y'all to be able to all of us a year from now to be able to look back at this whole situation and be like, oh my gosh, I remember when she was sitting in her home office and she hadn't even taken a cruise yet, or she was still getting ready to take her first cruise. And look where she is now, right? That excites me. But even more than that, I want y'all to start looking at your own lives, remembering all the stuff that you dream about, all the stuff that you want to do, all the different things that are in your life that you may be grateful for, but then the other stuff that you've been dreaming about and you want to go do it. I want you to also check into the fact that the only thing between where you are and where you want to be is what you do about it. Like, you can totally do this thing, right? If I can go from living in my house and working to working full time on cruise ships, or even just executing the plan, then you can do whatever it is you've been dreaming about too, right? That's always been my thing. I love seeing people do something that I want to do because it just reinforces my belief that it can be done. So I hope to be able to kind of share some of that with y'all. Now, do we know how this ends? We do not, right? I may execute this whole plan, go live on cruise ships, and 3, 4 months in, just decide I don't want to live here. I want to go back home. Or go visit some wonderful country somewhere else and just decide, okay, this is it. This is home for me, and decide to go there, right? Who knows? But what I do know is this thing is going to be planned out. It's going to be executed. I'm going to share share this whole jam with y'all every step of the way. And destination is we're going to learn. That being said, I highly doubt that's the case. I'm way too excited about living on cruise ships to not do it. So I don't know. Your dream may not be living on a cruise ship, right? Your dream may be, I don't know, whatever. Launching a business, having a family, going back to school, whatever, just whatever your dream might be. So keep that in mind. It might be just doing something that feels big and unattainable or just not easy to attain, right? It's like you thought about it, and then right off the bat, your brain started thinking about all the reasons why you couldn't do it or why it couldn't happen. I would like to encourage you to start talking back to that voice. Start talking back to your brain and remind it that, yes, you can indeed do whatever that thing you're dreaming about is, and then get busy teaching your brain that it was wrong by doing that thing and putting that plan into action. So that's it, y'all. Years ago, I used to work at this company where we were selling cruises full time. And it was crazy because I would talk to different people who were getting ready to go take, cruises. So over, most of the time it was like the 7-day cruises, 14-day, 3-day, 4-day, whatever their plans were. But I remember there was this lady and her son. She was retired. He was a little more mature. Not quite, obviously, not as mature as she was, but he was a little older as well, and they had just decided to go and live full time on cruise ships. And it was crazy because at the time it just sounded so far fetched to me, just the thought of someone going and living full time on cruise ships. But at the time, her thing was like, I did the math, and I realized that it's less expensive for us to go and live on cruise ships than it is for us to stay in this house than it would be for us, either of us, to go to some home somewhere or any type of living community. And she was like really in the business, in the process of like switching up her whole life. And I remember being excited for a couple reasons. One, she and I really connected. So I was like, you be sure to call me back when you're ready to book the next cruise. We got paid off commission. But two, I just remember being completely shocked that that was even a thing, that there was somebody somewhere who lives on cruise ships. But sure enough, they did it. She and I stayed in touch for the duration of the time that I worked there. She called back every couple months or whatever and be like, I'm ready to book the next one. She gotten a good year out. And they were just cruising together, going all over the world. She would send pictures and we kind of kept in touch that way. And it's funny because at the time, I wasn't even dreaming of doing like the living on a cruise ship thing. Like, that hadn't crossed my mind. I was still thinking about taking cruises.
So I mean, I don't know. It was just one of those things that hadn't necessarily crossed my mind. But gosh, now that it has, I'm so excited. I really am. And I'm excited to take y'all along. Here again, if y'all know anybody anywhere that is currently living on board cruise ships or just cruises a whole bunch, point them my way. I would love to talk to them and kind of get some insight or some tips about, what they're doing. Follow me on YouTube. I have been working on a series, a 10 plus part series. As I learn information, I'm going to share that with y'all. Um, yeah, but and we're everywhere else too, right? Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, all the places. So yeah, if you have any suggestions for me, anything helpful to say, any good advice, I'd love to take it. In the meantime, y'all take care. Break out that dream again. Break out that journal and start writing about it, deciding what you want to do with your life next. Make the most of this time that has been gifted to us, y'all. Take care.